Welcome to E.P.I.C, another podcast episode brought to you from With Purpose. My name is Chris Aird, and I am the owner as well as lead business strategist for the company. Our special guest today is Marie Dubois, certified essential oils coach with dōTERRA. Marie, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I've known you for quite some time, and I couldn't think of another better, energetic person than to be on this episode. So thanks for spending some time with us today.
Well, it's an honor.
Well, so Marie, just introduce a little bit about yourself. Tell the audience who you are on a personal level.
Oh, is this where I tell you that I like long walks on the beach? Let's see. Well, I am a proud grandma of three, 11, 5, and 3, and they're in my lives on a regular basis, which I really enjoy because I grew up as a military brat. We moved often, which kind of created the personality that you see before you. I didn't have a choice. I had to learn how to just adapt, right? Mm-hmm. I'm in a 30-year career in a corporate environment, business administration, and those kind of things. As far as dōTERRA is concerned, I'm a certified essential oils coach. My certification is through the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. I've recently added dōTERRA certification specialist, so I'm doing that now. I've been practicing oils now for 6 years, practicing mentoring, teaching, those kind of things. What else? You know, my personal life and my mission with dōTERRA have kind of folded themselves into each other. So now in my personal life, I have this vision of this global thing that's going to happen. But yeah, did I answer your questions?
That's you. So let's kind of dive in. I do this with all of our guests. If room, a desk, or a car, which one do you clean first and why?
Definitely my room. They probably all would be in the same state of affairs, to be honest, because I live on the go. But my room, because that's where I go for my solace and my solitary confinement sometimes in the chaos of the world. And if it's chaotic in there, then that's kind of counterproductive, right?
It would be. So do you have a favorite word or catchphrase that you use? And if so, why?
I have a lot of favorite words. Let's see, like for instance, choice and choose, because everything is a choice, right? Everything we do, our attitude, our health is a choice. And since I'm big about holistic health, for me, that's a big word. But I'd have to say my favorite word is probably inspire. That's because that's how I choose, it's how I endeavor to show up in the world, right? Everything I say, do, think, act, speak has the ability to inspire people, whether I know they're watching or not. And so I'm always mindful of that.
Very, very good. I like that word. Inspiration lasts for a lifetime. Motivation is just typically a short period of time. So inspire us a little bit today. Tell us a little bit about your business, how you got into it, your why, if you will, and you can just take it from there.
Let's see. Well, I tell people that, because the question, what do you do? It's always such an intimidating question to boil it down into a sentence. But I basically make healthy, proactive living simple so people can focus on living their best life easily and having some fun along the way. Because being healthy doesn't have to be all this complicated thing. You just have to work at it a little bit. The people that I work with are people who resonate with me, and my why all kind of goes into that, because I was a single, full-time plus, right, working mom. My clients are mostly those professional moms and now grandmoms. Thank you very much. They're really serious about their health. Typically, they just don't know. They know there's a better way. They're struggling to find that way to keep their family healthy, and they're just looking for help. And there's so much of it out there in this information age. They don't know what to trust or who to trust. And so one of my superpowers is just people just trust me for some reason. I think it's a gift from God. The people that I work with typically, like I said, they're just like me. So they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was really sick for a long time. So I came to oils because what I was doing wasn't working for me. And a lot of those people are who come to me, they're on a care plan and their care plan's not working. And they just need something to help. They're not looking for a complete overhaul, right? They're just looking for options. They want to know that there's options and that they're making good choices and that they're educated to do that. And so that'd be another one of my favorite words is empower, because I like to give people options. I think that's it.
Okay, so I want to tap into, at least I was thinking of the one word inspire. When I was hearing you speak, it really does sound like you've taken your past and you're bringing it into your today and your future.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that the people that you're providing empowerment to, that's a source of inspiration to them as well?
I do. And one of the ways that it is validated for me is, okay, so I believe that you don't go through anything in life. God doesn't put you through anything in life that he doesn't intend you to have that experience, because you're going to need it later for someone that you're going to meet, and it helps you resonate with them. And so that past helps me when people are talking to me, and it helps me really connect with them and build that trust so that they can see, hey, look, she went through this too. And so it inspires them that they can pick themselves up and they can dust themselves off and they can move forward.
Okay. So how did you get into dōTERRA?
That's a good question. There's kind of a long answer, but the short one is, like I said, I was really sick for a really long time, probably most of my life. And I had a physician say to me one time, and I will tell you that there's a litany of diagnosis in my file. I had a doctor say to me one time, I don't know how if I were to look at your records, I wouldn't pick you out of this group of people because you don't look like your diagnosis. And by the way, I'm not sure how you get out of bed. And in that moment, I realized that I'm not my diagnosis. I'm just not. But the things that we were doing in my healthcare plan just weren't working. And I ended up septic. I was in the hospital for 9 days, I think. And I almost lost my life. Only they didn't tell me in the hospital that I almost lost my life. My primary care physician had to tell me when she read the records. So that was kind of a wake-up call. That what I was doing wasn't really working. And so I took that and that openness and that desire and drive to stop feeling like a victim with the healthcare system, to take back some of that control, because I felt like it was, you're sick, go here, go to do this doctor, have this surgery, do this, do that, take this drug. And I just felt like a victim and I felt out of control. And so it was that spurred me into some action.
Okay. So you also mentioned earlier about you're into your 30-year career. Does that include dōTERRA? Is that something else?
No, that is something else.
Okay.
Yeah, I right out of high school went to like a little business college to learn how to be a legal medical secretary, believe it or not. And out of there, I became an executive secretary for an attorney, transitioned into legal secretary, transitioned all of that into office management, and then I just have been moving up ever since.
Okay. But in dōTERRA, you are a business owner, is that correct?
I am my own business owner.
Okay. So, Marie, for us as listeners, for you and I, what are some things that you've learned from being a business owner?
So many things. So many things. Okay, first of all, trust my intuition.
Okay.
And know that I know what I know without question. And that probably sounds kind of funny. But I believe that, and again, there's this, I believe in God. I believe he's my business partner. And I believe that when he called me for this mission, and I'm very purpose driven, I believe when he called me for this mission, he qualified me. And I already have everything I need to make it happen. I just have to trust that intuition and that knowledge. I just act. I have to listen and I have to act and I have to obey when he tells me to go do something, whether I like it or not. What else? You don't have to fit in to be successful. Sometimes the way I think and speak kind of turns people off. It's an energy thing. I've come to learn. I talk about energy a lot. I vibrate pretty high, which can irritate people. Raw, raw, raw. And it's that not fitting in, because sometimes Well, I'm in a networking group, and sometimes I feel like I have to fit in or people won't like me. And then I have to remember who I am. So that's a big piece of it for me. And then along those lines, if you really figure out what your mission is right up front and figure out what you're trying to say, what the big picture is, that helps you with consistency in your business and making decisions. And it keeps your message consistent.
Sure.
And then you're not chasing the opportunity. They come to you because they resonate with you, and having the faith to just know that that's going to happen. Because, at first you're like, well, if they don't resonate with me, should I change my message?
Right.
Am I going to miss out on that business? But really, it takes a little while for you to understand. Just be faithful to you and to what you're doing and why you're doing it, and the people will come.
I think that's great advice. I actually know that that's great advice. So let me tap into this, Marie, for a moment. So that, and it took you a while, but that you don't have to fit in order to get a business deal.
Right.
Okay. So especially for some of our new startup business owners, those people, they probably need to understand that as well. Like, they are built for not everybody. Not everybody is going to use their product, right? And their personality, their charisma, your energy, as you've mentioned, those are what either attracts people to you, and those are probably your right customers. Would you agree?
I would, and that's your culture. Because you're going to build the culture, and these are the customers that you want to serve, right? And so if you resonate with them, and it goes back to the message, because you want to be around people who have the same values that you have, who have the same vision that you have. And if you're with people that they don't resonate with that, they'll self-select. Like, they might pretend they want to be with you, but they'll self-select if they don't belong with you. And it's that simple.
Yeah, agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so this is really good advice. So what would be one thing that you know now that you wish you had known when you started?
I would have detached earlier from the result of the invitation. And let me explain that.
Okay, good.
I've learned that my only job, and this now applies throughout my life job, not just my business life, but my job is to invite people, right? If I meet someone and I see that they're suffering and I know that I can help, my job is to invite them into learning what I can teach them, invite them into the experience of working with me, invite them into feeling better. But if they're not ready for that and they tell me no, that's on them. But in the beginning, I just couldn't understand how somebody just didn't want to feel better, right? And so now I know that my only job is invite. And then I live the best life that I can live. I live my dōTERRA life openly, and I'm always inviting until they tell me to go away and stop asking them. I don't shut up, because I want them to know that the door's always open and there's never judgment. And I always want to be that safe space for someone, whether they're a client or not. But providing that and living my best life gives them the opportunity to change their mind and to say, hey, Marie, are you still doing that? It kind of changed my mind. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned. And if I could have done that right away, it would have saved so much heartache. But detachment is one of the keys to the kingdom, isn't it? To be able to detach from those answers.
Sure. Well, and you know what, that's really a great statement. So in that statement, then do you find that you have the opportunity to share a little bit of your life story that might resonate with somebody that's in front of you?
Yes. I get the opportunity a lot, but I'm careful with it, because when someone's with me, especially at first, they're usually they're at the end of their rope, and pretty much they've lost hope. They're at the point where they've been accepting new normals and they think that there's no other way to live. And so right now they're looking for solutions, and they're just looking for me to help them. So right away, I want them to know what I can do for them or how we can move them forward. And then later on, as I share about me, they begin to be more inspired to do the work, because being healthy sometimes in the beginning, it's a mindset, right? You have to have that mindset. And sometimes they need that little piece of seeing what I've done and how I've done it to inspire them. But I never want them to feel like, oh, she's on this pedestal and she did this, and I could never do that. I never want to be that. I want them to know that they can do it.
Very good. So dōTERRA oils, and
Oils.
I am not an avid user. I'm just going to make this really simple.
I know this about you.
But my wife uses them in a diffuser that she has purchased from you, I believe. And we have an uncle in the family that has used dōTERRA oil on a dog that had cancer. He would rub a particular oil on the bulge, if you will. And the doctor was really impressed a few months ago when they took the dog into the vet, and had the size of the cancer had reduced dramatically. Now, okay, so why dōTERRA? What separates you from other businesses in the industry?
Well, I think, let's see. I believe in, what's the word I'm looking for? Give me a minute. Revelation, not revival. Okay. And I think that being healthy and achieving balance is a mindset, which means that you have to have this mindset of this, I'm a long game, think long game approach. And so I believe that what separates me from everybody else, even other dōTERRA wellness advocates, is that I'm looking at the long game. I'm, of course, if you come and tell me, Marie, my back is killing me, or I have this pain in my knee, and these are the things that I've been living with forever, of course we're going to help you do that. But why? I want to know why. Why does that happen? Why does your gut hurt? Why can't you sleep? Why are you grinding your teeth? Why? Because emotions, feelings buried alive never die, right? There's a book by that title. And they go on to create disease and unrest in our bodies. And so that's what separates me, is that right away we look at why. I only work with people who are committed to doing that. They have to really be committed to, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And you'd be surprised how many people are not ready for that. And then I focus on education. For me, when you do get started with me, we build a 90-day plan that we look at together. I'm always checking in with you. The first 30 days, you can ask me any question and I'll answer it. And then I'll tell you where to get the answer. And the next 30 days, I'll answer it. I'll tell you where to find the answer. And then the next 30 days, I'll ask you what answer you found. And then we'll brainstorm it. Because remember, it's all about teaching people to be self-sufficient and empower themselves. So that, I believe, is what my clients would tell you is what really separates me from everyone else.
So I would agree with the why. I would also just add to this, Marie, because I don't think you're going to talk about yourself the way I would. And that's your personality. You have a charisma about you that is pretty contagious. And that personality, well, you're welcome. Thank you. That personality, as you mentioned it earlier a little bit, it will either attract people to you or it will repel people. And at the very least, people are very interested. And so I think that there's an amazing product that you have in dōTERRA. Are oils like the end all for everything? Like, does it replace the medical field?
No, and I think that's one of the biggest ways we're misunderstood. The homeopathic industry, dōTERRA wellness advocates, anyone who does anything holistic. I think that is the biggest urban legend. It's actually quite the opposite, especially for me. I don't want to replace what you have going on with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I can research your diagnosis. I can see what it's saying is your body. The knowledge that I have is going to work in unison with your doctor, is going to work alongside what you're doing. And then the goal is to help rebalance your body. And then maybe your doctor can lower some of the prescriptions. Again, your doctor does it. I don't do it. And I don't recommend you do it yourself, which it does happen. People have done that. But no, I don't want to take over. Now, that being said, is there an essential oil for every single over-the-counter medicine? Absolutely. Is there any in my house? Absolutely not. There are no over-the-counter drugs in my house. That's because essential oils are plants and your body recognizes them as food, and they're safe even for my 3-year-old grandson. So yeah, I'm kind of passionate about that, I think.
I think so. So you can actually digest the oils then, or some of them?
You can actually, and that goes to doTERRA's quality. That's another reason why doTERRA and why I chose doTERRA. They have a quality program. It's so strict that they trademarked it. So it's called Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And what that means, in a nutshell, is that it goes through all of these, like if you've ever seen CSI and all the gas chromatographs and all of that stuff, doTERRA does that with every single batch of oil. And it doesn't matter where it starts in the world. Every batch is tested at 3 times before it leaves the distillery. They make sure that it meets doTERRA's quality. And the thing I really love about doTERRA is it doesn't matter if they're rejecting that batch is going to send some of the stuff that they offer on the market into back order. They won't do it. They won't compromise. So it's tested before it leaves the distillery. It's tested again when it gets to the bottling plant, and it's tested again by doTERRA after it's bottled. And that is why I don't hesitate. I've been putting oils in and on my grandchildren since the day they were born. So basically they've been little baby oilers since the day they were born. Yeah, so that's what doTERRA. And then of course, one of the other reasons about doTERRA, and I tell people, if I could find another company that had the same quality, the same price point, the same everything, like they were mirror images of each other, it would be doTERRA's mission every single time. Because their mission, and it makes me weepy, is to change the world. And they mean it, and it's crazy. And you see that they have the Healing Hands Foundation, and they were the first people on the ground in Haiti and the first people on the ground in Nepal. And it's because of the relationships that they have with the local governments and the growers and everything that they do in the world to make it better that creates why I'm there and the culture that they have. And I endeavor to make that culture the same in my organization.
Yeah, that's amazing, Marie. It really is, especially to kind of give of themselves and to bring a product that is such full of integrity, right? And that's basically what you were saying is if there's if there's some sort of mishap in whatever the process, they're not going to sell it. They're not going to put it on the market, and that's just a huge amount of integrity. I love that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned then the one thing that people do seem to misunderstand. If there was a book to be written about you, Marie, you personally, what would the title be? And then what would be like the little paragraph on the back end of the summary?
I think the title might actually be "You're Not Broken."
Oh.
Yeah. And there's a story behind that, of course. And the back, I think, would say, this is my big idea of impact, which is I'm really working on it. So give me a minute and let me see if I can do this. I believe the human body can do supernatural things. And I believe that it is that innate ability that allows us not just to overcome any and all the challenges we've been handled or we've been handed in life. It allows us to overcome them and move forward so that we can live our best lives as our highest and best self. Now, to get there, it's never really that easy, right? You've got to choose, there's that word, to dare greatly. And I like Brene Brown because she tells us we must choose courage, or we can choose comfort, but we can't have both, not at the same time. And I think that's what the back of my book would say.
I like it. I'd read it. I'd read it. So what would be like the biggest compliment you've ever received?
I get this a lot, believe it or not. I will meet someone and they'll say, "Have we met? Are you sure we haven't met? Are you positive we haven't met?" And I'm like, I don't think we've met. But to me, that is just a sign that they're comfortable with me and that I'm welcoming to them and I'm familiar and that they're feeling safe in that moment. And that's an enormous compliment for anyone to ever say that to you, to feel like they're safe to just be around you. And I really like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Marie, as we wrap up, what would be a couple of things that you want our listeners to know?
Don't settle for mediocrity, right? I think too many people today are settling for mediocrity or suffering or feeling less than, especially right now. And they don't have to, not when it comes to their health, not when it comes to their finances, and not when it comes to their life. So living a natural lifestyle isn't as hard as you think it is. And I'm here to help. Simply put, I'm a holistic health mentor. I'm a certified essential oils coach, and guiding and inspiring others to see the greatness in themselves is what I do. It's really that simple.
Yeah, beautiful. And by holistic, just in case people don't know, holistic, you mean mind, body, and soul?
I do, actually, because one of the things we didn't talk about, but oils have an emotional side too. And that's one of the best parts about it, is while we're working on your physical challenges, the oils will be working on your emotional ones. And so you really have to be ready, because you're going to let go of that garbage.
Right.
Yep.
Well, very good. Marie, it's been such an honor. And how can we find you? On website, social media, phone number, that type of thing?
Well, you can text me directly, 623-226-8356. My website is Marie Dubois, and that's DUBOIS.guru. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram under the same thing, Marie Dubois Guru. And if you're at my website, there is a contact us button that you can click, and that'll get you there. Now, I wanted to tell you and all of your listeners that if they mention E.P.I.C when they call me, I am going to give everyone who enrolls a free 5 milliliter bottle of wild orange, but I'm also going to keep a little tab, and everyone that reaches out to me and that enrolls, I'm going to add $5, and I'm going to save up a little balance, and your family, Chris Aird, will benefit from that, and we will figure out which oils Lisa wants.
Okay.
And that way we can gift you, and we can gift your listeners.
That's fantastic. So they go to your site and they put in the keyword E.P.I.C.
Correct. When they're contacting me, there's a little contact me button at mariedubois.guru. Click the contact us button and just write me a little message, and we'll set up a time to get together.
Very, very good. Marie, it's been a pleasure to listen to you, to engage in conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being a part of E.P.I.C.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It has been a distinct honor, Chris. And someday I hope to be on your side of the microphone asking you these questions.
Oh, it's a deal. It's a deal. Well, thank you again.
All right.
And thank you to our viewers and listeners for listening to another podcast entitled E.P.I.C From With Purpose. My name is Chris Aird. I'm your host, as well as the owner and lead business strategist for the company. I hope you have a great day. And as I always say, I hope that whatever you think, say, or do, that you do it with purpose.
Thank you for listening to the Elite Professionals in Coaching podcast. If you want to stay in the forefront with business strategies and ideas, leadership conversations, tips, and empowerment, be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, and then share with your friends and fellow business owners. For more information about With Purpose and their services, visit www.withpurposellc.com.